If you're a lover of hot springs and you're looking for an all-inclusive experience with resort-style amenities, then today's review of Oregon's iconic Breitenbush hot springs will help you make the decision as to whether the site is a must-visit or an easy pass. Today we'll be taking you on a tour around the property, talking about the costs, and showing you what it's actually like to experience the updated Breitenbush hot springs. Located in Oregon's Willamette National Forest, the story of Breitenbush begins long before written records, with the land originally inhabited by Indigenous peoples. These native guardians recognized the sacredness of the hot springs, utilizing them for healing and ceremonial purposes. In the early 1900s, the allure of the hot springs caught the eye of pioneers, leading to the establishment of the first Breitenbush Hot Springs Resort in 1927. This era marked the beginning of Breitenbush's journey as a sanctuary for those seeking rest and rejuvenation amidst nature's wonders. During that time, the camp supported a post office, gas station, and dance pavilion. Visitors traveled long distances to breathe the vapors from dissolved minerals and the calcium, potassium, sodium, and magnesium in the hot springs. When Merle Bruckman retired in the 1950s, the resort fell into despair. It changed hands several times and finally was abandoned. After decades of silence, the 70s and 80s brought new life to the hot springs with the establishment of the Breitenbush community, which now owns the property. Driven by a vision for sustainability and holistic well-being, the Breitenbush community embarked on restoring the property, infusing with it a new ethos focused on ecological responsibility and renewal. Since that time, the resort has served thousands of people from all over the world. However, in 2020, the hot springs faced yet another challenge from the Lion's Head fires, which destroyed many of the resort's buildings. While the future of the hot springs was in question, it was once again the resilience of the Breitenbush community that has seen a rebirth and rebuilding, which leads us to the state of the hot springs today, with new buildings and structures surrounding the property mixed in with some of the original buildings that survived the fire. Getting to the hot springs is pretty easy. From Portland, you take I-5 to Salem, where you'll cut over onto the 22, and then take a left at the town of Detroit and drive for about 8 more miles. The entire trip takes about 2 hours, and it's a really beautiful drive once you get into the Willamette Forest. Upon arriving, you'll do a quick check-in at the main office and park your car in the adjacent parking lot. You'll need to use a free card in order to take your luggage to your room, as no cars are allowed near the cabins. Just be mindful that in winter, it may be raining, so you may want to tarp your belongings to avoid getting wet. The Breitenbush Resort offers a variety of accommodations, from the newly built Grove rooms to a variety of spacious yurts and cabins that can accommodate small groups. They even have an old tractor trailer that has been converted into a bunkhouse. While the comfort of these accommodations vary, it's important to note that almost all of these accommodations don't have their own bathrooms, so you'll need to use the shared facilities nearby or in the lodge. We ended up booking a room in the main lodge, and as you can see, it's extremely simple. The resort doesn't provide bedding, however, if you want to rent directly from them for a fee, you can, but we just brought our own to avoid the charge. While the main lodge does have bathrooms right next to the rooms, there are no showers here, and you'll have to walk about a minute to one of the facilities. We thought this was a little strange at first, but after arriving to the showers, we found that it had an open-air view directly facing the river, which was really cool, so we ended up really liking this concept. One thing we did like about staying in the main lodge was that this is where all the activities happen, from your daily meals to a variety of activities like yoga, meditation, and live music. Each day is different, and they post the activity on a board near the entrance. While the daily activities certainly add to the experience, the main attraction of this resort is the thermal waters. Breitenbush offers a variety of options for people looking to soak in the hot springs, and this is a clothing optional experience, so just beware of that. Also, there are no digital devices allowed of any kind, and we were able to film this as we received permission from management before coming. Walking a short distance from the lodge to down near the river, you'll find 4 group hot tubs filled with healing waters for soaking. Each tub has a different temperature, and all the tubs on the property are open 24/7 unless they're being cleaned. We found this to be a nice and relaxing setting, and found that it wasn't super crowded. We also like the fact that they have a cold plunge so you can cool off when you need. While Jessie doesn't like cold plunges, she took one for the team and did it for the YouTube. Next to this area, you'll also find a variety of individual soaking tubs for those who wish to relax on their own, and we really enjoyed the old school bathtubs. A short walk up to the top, you'll find 3 more community pools carved into the side of the mountain. The bottom pool is the least hot, and with each pool you go up, so does the temperature. These pools were by far our favorite as they were much bigger and more open than the pools below. We also liked the natural rocks they were built with. However, during the busy times, these pools definitely can get a little bit crowded, so just be aware of that. Our favorite pool and the one with the best view is the hottest one. This is a silent pool, so no talking is allowed. But it's a great place to relax, meditate, and take in the beauty of the nature while listening to the calming sound of the river below. On the way back to the lodge, you'll find the natural sauna with steam rising from the thermal waters below. This was one of our favorite areas we frequented the most, and we really liked that they have a natural shower and 2 cold plunge baths right outside. Again, Jessie is doing a great job with the second cold plunge of her life, so show her some love with a thumbs up on this video. After soaking, you'll definitely work up an appetite, and there are 3 meals served daily in the main lodge. The food here is all vegetarian and is served buffet style. And if you're not a vegetarian, don't worry, because the food is really delicious and we both really enjoyed it. One cool thing to note about this property is that it's entirely off-grid and 100% self-sufficient. They've built a system that harnesses geothermal energy to generate electricity and provide heating for its facilities, as well as an advanced water filtration system that supplies fresh drinking and bathing water for the entire resort. This system contributes to the retreat's commitment to sustainability and environmental stewardship, making it a model for eco-friendly operations. Now, let's talk about the price for a one-night stay for 2 people. We paid a total of $229 for one night, which comes out to exactly $114.50 per person. However, keep in mind that this does include 3 meals, your lodging, and unlimited access to the hot springs. So while it's not a cheap getaway by any means, it's also not super expensive. And this is also a resort that uses sustainable practices and is dedicated to supporting the environment. So just know that it goes to a good cause if this is something that's important to you. Overall, we had an amazing stay at Breitenbush, and because there's no internet or cell phone service here, we really enjoyed disconnecting for a night. Even though we stayed just 24 hours here, it felt like we were gone for a couple of days. The next time we come, I think we'll plan on staying the entire weekend. So if you're looking for a weekend getaway and digital detox, we highly recommend checking out Breitenbush Hot Springs. We hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, let us know in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video.